Hello! Can you guys even see me? There's so much yarn here. Hold on. Let's do it a little bit taller. Today I'm going to share with you guys all of the things that I plan on knitting this fall and winter. Hopefully you can find some inspiration or maybe knit along with me. Now this video is kindly sponsored by Hobby Yarns, and they kindly sent me all of the yarn that I need for these projects. So while these are projects I was already going to make, I went ahead and found some yarn that fit the project and wanted to share that with you guys. Before we get into my plans, if you watched last year's knitting plans, you might recognize something. Who is she? Who is she? Yes, I finished the sweater. This is the Stripe Overload Polo. I mentioned it in my knitting plans from last year. So for even more knitting inspiration after this video, make sure to go check that one out because I got tons of projects that are still kind of in my to be knitted list over there as well. And at the end, I'm gonna share with you guys the project I'm working on right now, which I also mentioned in that last video, also using Hobby Yarns. Okay. First and foremost, I want to say I have a lot of sweater knitting patterns. My ideal combo of knitting projects to have going on at the same time is like a sweater and at least like a pair of socks or some sort of accessory. The reason for this is, especially if you're doing a lot of color work, which as you can see, I plan to, it's very hard to like travel with a big sweater color work project. So I like to have a knitting project that's a little bit smaller that I can take with me on trips or in the car, whatever. So I have quite a few sweater patterns, so let's just start with those. The first one is the zipper sweater by La Pole, and I love this. I love the idea of putting a zipper into something. I feel like it would make it way more wearable, transitional, and I actually use this exact same yarn for this sweater, knit up with mohair for this one, but for this sweater, I'm going to do a variation of what she's shown here with this lighter green and cream, which I think will be super nice. I will get a lot of wear out of, and I even sourced a zipper from Hobby Yarns as well. I found that the gauge of this is very similar to other commonly used wools in knitting projects, so I love that this is very easy to replace other things or substitute in as a less expensive alternative. Now what's really cool is that this pattern is actually, the suggested yarn is this. So I feel like you can't go wrong because the pattern itself was designed with this yarn. This is also the Friends wool, and I wanted to show you guys. It was so easy to work with. It's got a really nice hand feel, and I feel like it looks really great. The colors are really vivid. This is post blocking, nothing ran or anything. I'm really excited about this one. I think it's super classic. I don't think it's gonna go out of style in my closet, which makes me want to invest the time to make it. All right, moving on. We are using actually the exact same yarn. It is the Friends wool, except I'm using all these different fun colors. Let me show you a little bit what I got going on here. It's this whole pile right here. And what I'm going to make with all these super fun colors is something that is a statement piece. It is the Mood Sweater by Spectacle Strick, and I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but that is also the designer of the Stripe Overload Polo, which is what I'm wearing here. I've done a little bit of color work. I've done intarsia, but not a lot of like carrying the yarn as I knit. So I'm super excited about this, and I'm excited to use all these colors and have like a statement piece in my wardrobe that I can just reach for as a really fun art piece. So I love this pattern. She also offers this pattern instead of smiley faces. She has yin and yang symbols, which is also a really cool substitute. And again, it's using Friends wool, which is really awesome, really affordable, and has such a good color selection. What I love about the Friends line, because I've worked with it a few times now, is that all of the yarns in the Friends line match each other. So they all have coordinating yarns of different types. So if you want to knit up with Friends wool, there's also Friends Kid Silk that is the exact same color. So there's no guesswork when you're trying to buy yarns online, like, is this the same color, is it not? Because they will all match. So that's super awesome, and I'm really excited about this really fun design in these super fun colors. I wanted to sneak this in here even though I've already talked about it. The Stripe Overload Polo by Spectacle Strick is just a gorgeous pattern. I had such a fun time knitting it up. You can obviously go very neutral, or I could even use some of these yarns and do something really bright. I wanted to mention it here because I felt that the Friends Wool and the Friends Kid Silk just worked beautifully for it. This is a kind of a sad example. Okay, these are the yarns that I used for this sweater. This is color 10 and color 2. And this is what was left over of the Kid Silk, Friends Kid Silk. For this project. These are the colors I'm going to use to knit up the Citrus Sweater by Monday Journal. As you can see, they're almost identical. And this is the Diablo by Hobie yarns. And what I'm going to do to achieve this super fluffy, light, airy look to the sweater, I'm going to knit these held 5 together at a time. So I'll actually be working 5 balls at once. They actually do have a Diablo yarn that is already spun with like 5 strands at a time, I think. But the colorways were just not what I wanted for this project. So I actually just decided to knit 5 held together. I absolutely love this color. Cannot wait to work with this. It's very soft compared to the Kid Silk. The Kid Silk, I will say, is a bit more scratchy, but the Kid Silk has more natural fibers. So this one is 40% acrylic, 30% mohair, and 30% polyamide. So it is a less expensive option to the Kid Silk, and it feels really, really good on the hand. I actually feel like it'll be a little bit softer on my skin compared to the Kid Silk, but I love it. Great color options, and I'm really excited to knit this up because working with mohair, or like a mohair-like yarn, is just so fun, and it will create something that I don't really have in my closet. I'm really excited to have just like these light and airy things going on. So those are all of the sweaters that are on my roster for this fall, which is already bold to have 3. So we'll see what happens, but I wanted to get an earlier start this year so that I can maybe actually wear them before it gets warm again. All right, let's talk socks. I've got kind of 2 patterns for you, but really one of them is like 5. So let's start off with the Havsy socks by Sandmade Knits. This color blocking is just so fun, and I think if you're gonna knit a sock, why shouldn't it be fun, right? So I actually got these yarns from Hobie. These are the Rainbow 4-ply sock wool. They're 75% wool, 25% polyamide. That is actually going to help with the durability of the sock over time. I love the fiber content of these, and I love these colors together. I think they'll make some really, really fun color blocking opportunities. If there's something I've learned about socks, it's that this could make like 4 pair of socks with these, so at least. Once you start color blocking, you're gonna have a lot of leftover yarn that you can color block on something else. But I just love this pattern. It looks really easy, really simple. These are worked in intarsia, which I have done before, so I feel comfortable with. Something that's interesting about these socks, obviously they have color work, but they're knit up flat using intarsia, and then you seam them together at the sides. So if you've never sewn socks before, this might be a little bit easier because you knit them flat. Very excited about these. I think they're gonna be super cute. And yeah, this yarn is super soft. I mean, anything on my feet is gonna feel like a dream. Let's talk a little bit more of a beginner-friendly sock. This is going to knit up a lot faster, and this is actually one of the first pair of socks I ever knit. This is the Ozetta sock collection. This is the pattern pack that I used to knit my first ever pair of sock, and it was super easy. It's knit up with a bit bigger of a yarn. Instead of the 4-ply, this is doubled up at 8-ply. This is the Rainbow Sock Wool 8-ply. What I'm excited about for these is that this will knit up so much quicker than the other socks. Now, these are a little bit more like comfort socks. They're gonna be thicker, but I just love this pattern pack for somebody who's never knit socks before because it makes it very approachable. It was super easy and straightforward as a beginner. For my next socks knit up with these, I'm going to make the Woodsy socks, which are also from the Ozetta sock pattern. So I'm super excited. I love the stripe detailing. It's just a classic sock that I know that I'll wear a lot. I'll get a lot of wear out of these colors. Last but not least, I am throwing in a little summer bag really quick. This is the Dima's summer bag. It is very cute, and it is knit up with Rafaela It is raffia paper from Hobie. This is in the color 5, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a really cool, airy beach summer bag, and that is something I do not have in my wardrobe, so I definitely wanted to knit something up that would be super cute for me to carry around in the spring and summertime. I'm really excited about this. Not much to say about it other than the color is really nice. It feels like raffia paper. I haven't started knitting with it yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be really great. All right, guys, I said that I had a special surprise at the end, and this was from my knitting plans last winter. I'm knitting the Friday Slipover by Petite Knit, and this is where we are at so far. This is the back. I just worked on the neck hole, and now I'm dropping stitches. So that's cool. 1 second while I pick up all these stitches. And this is also using Hobie yarns. This is the Friends Kid Silk and the Unicorn Solids. And if you want a little bit more details about those yarns, you can check out my other video. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I should have it done by the end of the month, I'm hoping. It's actually knitting up way faster than I thought. And if you want to see the finished vest or waistcoat, make sure to follow me over on Instagram because I post about my finished works over there. Thank you so much to Hobie for sponsoring this video and sending over these yarns. I'm really impressed by the quality of their yarns and the affordability of their prices, so definitely make sure to check them out. And if you want to stick around for more sewing, knitting related videos, make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Let me know down below what you have on your knitting plans for this fall and winter. I would love to see. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.